Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. This is our online training session on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 3. By phase 3, we mean that this time we are particularly catering to the viewers from northeastern part of the country, and it includes states like Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. You are watching this online training session of ours on PM eVidya channels from 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. Well, you can also participate in this training session and you can ask relevant questions to the experts. If you have any doubts, any queries, any feedback or suggestion, feel free to reach out to us. Please take down our phone number, which is 8800440559. We also have a dedicated email ID for you, and that is diksha.training@ciet.nic.in. We are also streaming live on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. So you can go to the comment section, put in your questions there, any doubts or suggestions that you might be having, and reach out to us. So today is day 1 of this training session where we will talk about virtual lab, need, perspective and scope. And since it's a training session, you can also participate in the post-assessment activity. If you score more than 70%, you will be granted a certificate. I will tell you all the details, how you can register yourself, how you can participate and how you can also share your feedback via email and everything by the end of today's session. And for this session, we are joined by our guests. So let me introduce to them, and they all are eminent personalities from CIET NCERT. We are joined by Professor Amarendra P. Behera, Service Joint Director from CIET NCERT New Delhi. Sir, namaskar and very warm welcome.
Namaskar, Harpreet.
We are also joined by Professor Indu Kumar. Ma'am is Head Department of ICT and Training Division and National Coordinator Diksha from CIET NCERT New Delhi. Ma'am, namaskar and welcome to the session.
Namaskar.
And we are also joined by Dr. Praveen B. Benja. Ma'am is Associate Professor from Department of ICT and Training Division from CIET NCERT New Delhi. Ma'am, namaskar and welcome to the session.
Namaskar.
So we all know that National Education Policy 2020 is also focusing on inclusivity, equity in education and making use of ICT in education in a big way. So we are conducting these training sessions under a special significance. Online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 3 covers NEP 2020 recommendations for digital education, particularly for virtual labs, their significance and scope. Further, relevance of virtual labs for teaching learning of different subjects across the curriculum will be explained in the sessions to come. Today is the day 1, as I've already told you, and we will be talking about virtual lab, need, perspective and scope. So, in this regard, my very first question is to Professor Amarendra. Sir, as we all know that National Education Policy 2020, it focuses on the integration of technology in the field of education with technological trust areas you think are there and you would like to highlight them for us.
Thank you very much, Harpreet. Very good morning and namaskar to all the viewers from Northeastern region and other parts of India. My esteemed colleagues from CIET, Professor Indu Kumar, who heads the Department of ICT and Training, and Dr. Praveen Bobby Binja, who is the coordinator of this program. And as all of us, we know that the National Education Policy 2020 has given a lot of emphasis on equitable quality education and lifelong learning rooted in Indian culture and ethos. The policy, while talking about the curriculum, it says that the curriculum needs to be holistic and the curriculum needs to be integrated. It needs to be engaging also and enjoyable as well. So in that case, the teaching learning process should be such that the children enjoy and learn different concepts, not in the form of abstract knowledge, but in the form of concrete knowledge. So in that case, we not only depend on all our teachers and the physical labs we have at school, but also we need to depend on many other digital resources which help us to gather data, analyze data, zero down to different concepts, even see various demonstrations and all. And also the policy has dedicated 2 chapters on use and integration of technology, and the chapter number 23 and 24. And while talking about use and integration of technology and online education, the policy says that education and technology is a bipolar process, so it cannot be segregated, and also needs to be integrated for teaching, learning and assessment, for overcoming the barrier of languages, even for teacher preparation at pre-service and in-service level, and for children with special needs also, because the RPWD 2016 Act talks about 21 different variety of disability. And last not least, the policy mentions that technology needs to be used for administration and management governance also. But while talking about teaching, learning and assessment, as I mentioned, there are many hazardous chemicals also. We sometimes are scared and to give it to children to handle it. So therefore, virtual labs could be safe, and the policy also talks about giving a variety of exposures, experiential learning to children, so that they learn in a better manner. Like today, dissection of frog in our classrooms are environmentally banned. And similarly, I was talking about variety of chemicals and their preservation in the science, maths and other labs, so is always a challenge. So in that case, till the child gets the real objects to manipulate and learn in a concrete manner, so definitely virtual labs can help children to learn in a better manner. And many times also, like how a volcanic eruption happen, so it is many times difficult to replicate in the classroom. Even virtual tour to War Memorial in Delhi, or India Gate in Delhi, so or any maybe Sun Temple in Konark. So it is always possible that through a virtual medium we can practice it till we get the real object to experiment. So that will not only help us for learning, but those learning will be enduring also. Even nowadays, for learning driving, we use simulators for learning driving. So similarly, if we have text content, video demonstrations, and then we have simulations and assessment, as Harpit was mentioning, we will be getting 70% if we are getting, we will be getting a certificate. So similarly, if children before they go to science math lab, they can practice this for 4-5 times, so the risk of handling hazardous chemicals and equipments can be minimized. So best of luck to all of you, happy learning, and I hope with the CIT NCERT team, we all teachers use such labs in our classroom so that children learn anything in a better manner and in a concrete way, and the policy goal of having equitable quality education and lifelong learning rooted in Indian culture and ethos is realized in right spirit. Thank you very much. Over to Harpreet.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining that so beautifully. We all know that education and ICT go hand in hand. You mentioned about virtual labs. They are an important outcome of national education policy that stresses on the use of ICT in education. And since we talk about connecting the last mile learner with the education system and also making education accessible to all, virtual labs are playing an important role, because sometimes when we are unable to perform an experiment due to dearth of resources or many reasons, virtual labs come into the picture and they save us. We will of course know a lot more about these virtual labs in today's session and in the days to come, how they are playing a big role when it comes to different subjects. But for now, I have another very important question, that is about recommendations of National Education Policy 2020 for digital education. It is very important to understand what this policy says and why we are working so hard, striving so hard in making ICT an integral component of the education system in India in the modern context. So, Professor Indu, I request you to kindly share those recommendations with our viewers.
Yes, so it is very important to know what are the recommendations of NEP 2020. Professor Behra already mentioned in nutshell what are the generic recommendation for NEP 2020 and also for virtual labs. So when we talk about the special recommendations of NEP 2020, it talks about the development of digital infrastructure, because development of a bare minimum basic infrastructure is very important for for technology implementation or technology integration in education. So that is one of the recommendation. It also talks about portals, apps and other tools for the enhancing the quality of education and for integration in the day-to-day teaching learning process of our students. It also talks about digital resources, development of quality digital resources. Until and unless we develop quality digital resources, we will not be able to make sure the integration of ICT in teaching, learning and assessment. So NEP 2020 for the implementation of digital education also talks about harnessing other forms of technologies also, and that is telecast and broadcast technology. So we know that this session is being telecasted and broadcasted and also being live streamed on YouTube. So that is how we are also harnessing the potential of telecast and broadcast technology. CIT is running some radio channels also on which educational programs are broadcasted. So that is a recommendation of NEP 2020 as well. So it also talks about, Professor Behra also mentioned this, the educational management. So educational management also becomes easy if we harness the potential of technology for administration and management, because it makes the task of a manager, a school leader easier and saves a lot of time as well. So when we talk about technology, the assessment is always online assessment and examination has always remained a big challenge for us. If we want to teach or integrate technology in teaching learning management, there are various ways of integrating technology and imparting online and digital education. But assessment, for assessment we need to devise various ways how to make online assessment and examination in a robust way, so that we can take this dimension also. So we have to find ways, and we are already working upon it. Then building digital competencies of teachers is also one of the very important aspect, because in a country like India we have a huge number of teachers and teacher educators in our country, and training them in a face-to-face manner is has always remained a very big challenge. So if we harness the potential of technology, scaling up anything which comes as newer initiatives in education, like now we have NEP 2020 and we are implementing it. We also have new NCFs to be implemented. So teachers also need to be trained in all these areas. So if we harness the potential of technology, we can scale up training, and in a very it is time saving also. So in lesser time we can reach out to a large number of teachers, vast population of teachers which we have in our country. Then we also need to build digital competencies among our students. Although students are fearless in using technology because they are technology native, they are born with technology, but they need to be safe and secure in the cyber environment, in the digital environment. So that competencies need to be inculcated among students, so that they are safe, they know cyber ethics, they are good netizens when they are on networks using internet. So that is also one of the area which has been highlighted in education to combat the hindsight of technology. That is another thing. Then if we want our teachers to integrate technology in their day-to-day teaching, learning and assessment practices, so they need to be equipped with the skills of using technologies, competencies of using technologies, and technology should not be seen in isolation, integration of technology, but a proper blend of content, pedagogy and technology need to be there, and teachers need to understand that how to make proper blend of content, pedagogy and technology to make their lesson more engaging and meaningful for the students. Then use of assistive technology. Professor Behra mentioned about the technology for the Divyang children, how to make their education more engaging and interesting. So for that, assistive technologies, the potential of assistive technologies need to be harnessed, so that the technology assist them overcome their shortcomings. If we have visually impaired children, we need to have a lot of audio digital material so that they can access them. This is one of the examples. And for the hearing impaired children, we need to have content in sign languages. So these are a few assistive technologies that I have mentioned. So there are a lot in operating systems of device also, because there are screen casting also, screen reading software. So we need to harness all these technologies. And capacity building of teachers and teacher educators using technology, I have already mentioned it. We need to scale up using technologies. And then we also need to lay down standards of whatever we do in technology. Everyone should not take technology or use technology in a haphazard manner. If we are talking about quality digital content, so we need to set standard what a quality digital resource is like. So, and if we are talking about online and digital education, how online and digital education should appear. If we are talking about digital teachers, what are the competencies with which a digital teacher need to be equipped. So we need to set all these standards to make education more interesting and engaging for the students and also for the professional development of teachers. And apart from this, we also need to have quality research in educational technology or ICT, because technology is not something which is static. Technology is dynamic. Every day new or newer technologies are coming, and after some time, some years, the technology which is relevant now becomes obsolete. So we need to keep an eye on that also, and a futuristic research in educational technology is required, and we also need to recognize the disruptive effect of technologies and need to research in disruptive technologies as well. So these are some of the recommendations of NEP 2020 which I have just mentioned.
Right, ma'am. After going through these, through these recommendations, we can comfortably say that in order to make education a very happy and a lively and a joyous experience for children, technology is playing an important role, because these days we're talking about immersive technologies, assistive technologies. You also mentioned that there are resources for those who are hearing impaired or visually impaired, so they are also assisted. So in a way, we are talking about not just blended learning, but we are also encouraging blended teaching, Also, it includes coordination, assessment, and feedback as well. So, digitalization of education is the need of the hour. It is happening in a big way, and virtual lab is one such outcome which is definitely impacting our lives in a very nice manner, because this is so wonderful that now you do not have dearth or any lack of resources. But what exactly these virtual labs are, we have been talking about them, and we've been hearing about them as well. What are these labs, and where do they exist, and what difference they are making to our routine learning? So this is my question to you, Professor Indu. So please explain that what are these virtual labs and why these virtual labs came into existence in the first place?
Yes. So, for this particular series of the training programs on virtual labs, this is a very relevant question. We need to know what is the idea behind having these virtual labs.
Right.
So, we all know that when we talk about physical labs, maybe physical labs are not, and we all know that physical labs are not available all the time for the students. There is a specific period which is allocated for children to have lab experience, and for certain classes, up to certain classes, a lab is not recommended also for students to have experience in, because there are a lot of limitations also which are there. So, for keeping in view that and when experimentation is required in classes 1 to 8th, so we need to have some virtual labs where the students can try their hands in lab experiments in virtual environment without getting compromising their safety and security also. And also virtual labs overcomes the limitations of having the material also, because there is limited material which is available in virtual labs, and because of time constraints also we cannot try one experiment several times, and the results of virtual labs also come in, it takes time to see the results also, but in virtual environment instantly we can see the results. So, these are some of the benefits of having virtual labs. Apart from that, it empowers students in digital tools. When the children are studying in the classes where labs are not recommended, so they can enhance their competencies in digital tools and can use virtual labs as digital tools to enhance their learning. Apart from this, a blended learning approach is also there. We can have a blended learning approach. Teacher can integrate virtual labs with her lessons and can demonstrate the labs in the classroom, and then students can also try the same experiment in the physical lab. So, that is how we can blend learning, adopt blended approach by blending online and physical learning. So, this advantage is also there because of the provision of virtual labs. Then it also talks about equity and inclusivity, because equity is one of the area which has been highlighted in NEP 2020. There should be equitable access to educational opportunities to students. So, wherever there are no labs, students can access virtual labs and consolidate their learning in the virtual environment. Also, when we talk about technology, technology is accessible and available to everyone with uniformity. So, that creates equity of accessing digital resources and inclusivity also. So, any children who are challenged, who cannot access physical labs, or they find difficulty in having those experiments, they can very easily conduct and practice those experiments in the virtual environment. So, that is also one of the advantages of virtual lab. Then experiential learning, it also ensures experiential learning among students. So these are some of the ideas with which we have introduced these virtual labs, and they are available on our portal Diksha, which is managed by CIET NCERT, and NEP 2020, as we are discussing that also have some of the recommendations for these virtual labs. So what NEP says in this regard, you can see in the on the screen: access to quality practicals and hands-on experiment based learning experiences to each student. So that opportunity is there by virtue of the virtual lab. They can have hands-on experiment based learning in the virtual environment. Then virtual labs enhances actual laboratory experience, which I have already spoken about, because virtual labs are available in virtual environment and physical labs are also there. We can blend learning and then enhance the experience of virtual physical laboratory. After having an experiment in physical lab also, they can practice the experiment several times or as many times as they want to practice it. Then lab based e-resources which are aligned to virtual labs, they help students in visualizing the concept. They can actually visualize the concept, visualize the process. So these are some of the recommendations which are there in NEP 2020, and virtual labs cater to those recommendations which are there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, you've given us a fair idea of how virtual labs work and how they are making a difference in experiential learning, because I myself have seen only real physical laboratories. Never ever have I seen these virtual labs, and of course I was also waiting. I used to wait for my turn to perform experiments, and sometimes I was not given a chance because the resources were not available, or time got over. But what I have understood after knowing what virtual labs are is that these labs provide you experiential learning experience, or they help you to gain hands-on experience at your own comfort and pace. So I'm sure these labs are having a lot more advantages than we could get from these real physical laboratories. If we talk about those features and advantages, definitely, of course, we all are excited to learn so that we can use them. So Dr. Praveen, here I want to ask you about the best features of these virtual labs. We have just learned now how they are. So what are these best features, and how do you think that these virtual labs enhance learners' experiences?
Okay, thank you, Harpreet ji. Good morning to all the viewers. So just now Professor Indu Kumar and Professor Amrindra Behera, they well explained about the policy recommendation and the vision of NEP 2020. So I am going to tell you about what are the best features of virtual lab. Let's understand these features of virtual lab in 4 categories. Number 1 is the technologically what are the best features available in the virtual lab. Then we will talk about the pedagogical features and the content, how it's available, and accessibility. When talking about the technology, if you will see the Professor Indu Kumar well cited that bridging the digital divide and accessibility. So this virtual lab is available free of cost in the form of web portal as well as in the application based, the mobile app. So this is freely available on the internet. We can you can also access this through the DTH channel also. So we are reaching this virtual content to the viewers either the telecast and the broadcast way. So technologically, if we see that content is freely available and the user friendly and very easy to access the content. And we talk about the pedagogy part. Just now ma'am explained about the blended learning approach. So this content is available in a blended way. So teacher can access this content in a virtual mode, and after that this virtual content is well integrated with the physical, theoretical as well as the practical classes. So aligning this aligning the virtual lab with the physical lab is that pre-lab session is there, performance lab session is there, and after that we have a post-lab session. So, in the post lab session, what we are doing, that whatever we are learning in the virtual lab as well as in the physical lab, we are repeating that one again and again. So, if any case a child missed the classes or he unable to understand the content in the physical classroom as well as in the virtual classroom, he can repeat that experiment anytime, anywhere as per his experience, their ability, availability and their pace of learning. So, this is the things we can do with the pedagogical part, and the next one is the content part. So, that the content in the virtual lab is available in the different form, like that Professor Indu Kumar well cited that different kinds of digital resources, and this virtual lab is an example of different kind of virtual resources or digital resources available in this platform. So, that content are available in the theory part, the procedures are there and videos are there, simulations are there, animations are there and assessment questions are also there. So, different type of digital resources available in this virtual lab. This is the best features of this virtual lab. Apart from that, when we talk about the Divyang children and accessibility and the inclusivity and equity, so here this content are available to the diverse range of learner, irrespective of any difficulties or any disabilities are there, maybe learning difficulties or physical disability or any type of that Divyang issues are there. So, children can access this one. Teachers can also integrate this one in a variety of way to meet the educational goal. And we talk about this, how the students and users getting experience with this virtual lab. Yes, ma'am told about, Professor Indu Kumar just told about that is providing a experiential learning. So, once we are experiencing this virtual lab, so digital experience as well as the physical experience, we are blending both, so that enhances our learning and is finally supporting the teachers as well as students to meet the learning outcome and educational goal.
Right. Ma'am, we all understand that teaching and learning is at the core of gaining expertise, but the cycle isn't complete, you know, if we do not talk about assessment and feedback. That is also an important component when it comes to the completion of this entire teaching learning process and gaining expertise in different fields. So, Professor Indu, I would like to ask you that how do you think that integration of virtual labs in routine teaching will help teachers to enhance their pedagogical and assessment practices, because it is very important to also understand where a child stands and what are his or her capabilities, and then of course you can increase the difficulty level when it comes to making the child learn new concepts.
Yes. So, how they can help students and teachers in teaching learning. So, as we can see here, virtual labs help learners in many ways. We have already reiterating the blended learning approach, and they can also perform experiments multiple times, which I have already mentioned. Without consuming hazardous chemicals. So, that is one of the advantages for students. Again and again, they need not to consume the hazardous chemicals, and they can perform experiments multiple times. Then they can revise the knowledge of theory also. The theory they learn, they can revise the theory with by having experiments in virtual environment. So, that is another advantage that we have, and they can obtain result without instantly, because they need not to wait for the results to come when they are performing the experiments. In virtual environment, results are instant. They can see results instantly, and they can analyze results, thereby improving logical thinking and their reasoning as well. And the virtual labs are also useful for teachers. Another dimension, because in a classroom we have teachers and we have learners, so it helps learners in the same way it helps teachers also, because they can design their lesson plan integrating virtual labs. And they can have virtual labs can be integrated pre-lesson, mid-lesson and post-lesson. Pre-lesson, they can ask students to perform the experiments and come up with their questions in the classroom. Then teacher can integrate the same lab mid lesson and explain them the questions that they are come up with, and post lesson they can just experience the lab environment multiple times in virtual through virtual labs. So that is how a teacher can design and plan her lessons with the help of virtual labs. Then they can also use virtual labs to just demonstrate experiment skills and help learner to developing such skills and competencies.
Absolutely.
So that is how a teacher can help students in various ways to consolidate the knowledge of the concept which needs experimentation.
Yes.
And the experiments, when it comes to the assessment, experiments are one of the area of assessment also. They are assessed on experiments also.
Yes.
When they need to make their practical
Yes.
file and
Vivas.
yeah, vivas
Everything.
and all. So in virtual environment, they can practice multiple times, and that is how consolidate the experiential learning that they get in the physical labs as well as in virtual labs.
Absolutely. I mean, this stands true because we all understand that, you know, these virtual labs, they play a significant role when it comes to teaching learning experiences and of course the feedback and assessment as well. Because unless and until you complete the cycle, you really cannot make out where a child stands in terms of understanding the complex situations or the difficult problems that are there in the curriculum. And you go prepared in the laboratory.
Right.
Plus also children do not understand by just drawing something on the blackboard or just by lecturing. They understand through experimentation and demonstration. So many, you know, resources are available, and I'm sure that we have to make use of them. So, you know, after learning that how teachers can include this entire concept in their routine teaching, Parveen ma'am, I want to ask you that these virtual labs are meant for a specific audience. Of course, we want to connect every child to this particular scenario, but do you think that intended users are taking benefit of these freely available resources?
Yes, this is the very question this question is very important. See, this virtual lab actually, this is the budget announcement of 22-23. They announced that virtual labs should be integrated in our education system, and it will enhance our experimentation and experimental skills.
Right.
For this purpose, this lab was launched on 29th of July 2022. And you can see here that how this constantly these users are increasing day by day.
Yes.
And we are
So we
running
can
this.
see the graph on screen so that we get to know. Yes.
See that following this data, you can see how this number of users taking benefits of this virtual lab. And every day and every week we are getting lot of users, they are registering this virtual lab online session, as well as the viewers watching through the DTH channels, as well as in virtual this lab available in the Diksha platform. There also that accessibility of the content is increasing day by day. So you can see the data here, and here the consumption data is also you can see that's increasing from the day of inception, and these all virtual lab activities available free of cost in the Diksha platform.
Right. So now we can see that you know, numbers are increasing, and since we are also doing such sessions and covering different parts of the country, though we say that these particular sessions are meant for a specific audiences because each time we are bringing new training sessions, but we also say that though they are meant for specifically for certain parts of the country, these training sessions are open to all. So you all can gain knowledge, you all can assess yourself, and you can participate in the assessment activity as well. Now we all know that you know, along with virtual labs, National Education Policy 2020 also emphasized the utilization of augmented reality and virtual reality. Well, we haven't, you know, heard these terms because we are so much into gaming. I mean, this Gen Z is all about gaming and experimenting. So somewhere you have touched upon this topic in your life, but how well do you understand? Because I really do not understand. So I request Professor Indu to kindly elaborate us that what is this augmented reality and virtual reality, and why NEP 2020 is also focusing on it.
Yeah, in today's context,
Yeah.
where technologies are ever evolving,
Yes.
and their utilization is also recognized in teaching learning processes. So it is very important to learn what
Yeah.
is augmented reality
Yeah.
and virtual reality.
That's true.
And why they have been highlighted
Yes.
in NEP 2020. So when we talk about virtual reality and augmented reality, so we all know you have also done your schooling and your university education. So we all realize that there are many concepts that we learn in different subject areas. They need visualization.
Yes.
Without a 3D visualization or visualization, it is very hard to understand several concepts.
Yes, yes.
For example, we all teach our students about the earth is spherical, but how we see our earth, we see it as
Flat surface, yeah.
flat surface. So it is very difficult for children to visualize that earth is spherical. There is something like solar system in this universe. So, and all the planets and our earth is also revolving around the sun. So
And
such
ma'am, I'm so sorry I'm interrupting you, but you're touching upon such an interesting topic. Nobody taught me that sun is also moving.
Yes.
And planets are revolving at the same time. So I think we never understood this thing.
Yes. We learned that sun is moving.
Yeah.
Sun rises in the east and
Yes,
sets in
the
the
west. Yeah.
Although our earth is moving
Yeah.
around sun. So that is the reality.
Yes.
So to visualize such concept, there are many visualization tools through which we can visualize. And here comes the role of augmented reality and virtual reality technologies. So we can see picture here so that we can understand what is augmented reality and virtual reality and how they are different, and for that matter what is reality. So I was talking about the earth. There are many elevations also which are there, relief features which are there on earth. So in picture 1 on a screen, where which is captioned as a reality, so that is reality. We can see the earth which is clad by mountains. It's a picture although, but it's a reality. We see the reality like that. We see the real mountains, we see the real plains. So this is something which we call reality, and it can be captured through images.
Right.
When we talk about augmented reality, it is augmented with some physical element, like textbook is a physical element. And there are many, as I have already spoken about, there are many abstract concepts which are there in the textbooks which need visualization. And there are real things also, like how our heart function. It function inside our body.
Yes.
We cannot show how it functions.
Absolutely.
So if we integrate augmented reality technology with the physical book and just harness the potential of physical, the combination of physical and digital.
Yeah, nice
we
term.
augment digital with the physical, so we can visualize how heart function. So in the second picture which was there, can we just project that on a screen?
Yeah.
So there is a diagram of heart on the book. Can we cut to the slide, please?
Yeah.
So we can see the diagram in the textbook and an elevated 3D heart emerging out of
it's coming alive.
Yeah, if we scan the images which are specially designed for augmented reality, then we can see in the device the 3D the image of that particular concept. Like that in science there are many concepts, how our heart function, how respiration takes place, how digestion takes place.
Yes.
So we can see the process, the procedural knowledge which is there. We cannot see these processes alive. So these processes can be seen by augmented reality technology, which we can augment with the physical textbooks. Then comes the virtual reality. In virtual reality, in augmented reality, reality is augmented with the
Yes.
physical world. And in the virtual reality, the viewer or the learner, they feel themselves as part of the virtual reality environment, like we can see here. If we are talking about lab, so we can actually feel ourselves in the lab,
Yes.
and whatever objects for experimentations are there in the virtual environment, we can actually interact with them, we can handle them. So this is a amalgamation of physical and virtual, and that is how we can see the difference between the three, and we need to integrate them with educational experience to enhance these experiences.
True, true. Physical is the new word that I learned today, and I'm going to use this word in the sessions to come. And yes, you know, so of course, if you want to know about photosynthesis or how heart functions, and how, you know, as ma'am mentioned, that sun is moving and planets are rotating and revolving around it at the same time, so nothing is stationary in the universe, you need a 3D demonstration of the same, virtual lab for the same. Now that we've talked a lot about theory, I think now it's very important to understand how these virtual lab functions and how we perform experiments. So Dr. Praveen, I request you to kindly take us to this website, this portal, where we can perform some experiments with the help of these virtual labs.
Okay, let's explore this virtual lab. Where is it and how you will access this virtual lab, and what are the website address, URL address, and where it is available.
Right.
So the steps to reach a desirable resources of virtual lab, you can log into that diksha.gov.in website address, URL address is there. And how this websites look like. So let me show this one. So after logging to the www.diksha.gov.in, you will land to this home page, and this home page you can see lot of verticals are there. And within one verticals is there virtual lab.
Right.
If we come on to focus areas of Diksha, so here are all the focus areas, and one of the focus areas are virtual labs, which Dr. Bobby is just showing.
Yes, so this is the one focus area, that is the virtual lab. If you click on this one, so you will find this page. You are landing to this virtual lab page. Here you can get a brief information about that virtual lab and the features of the virtual lab. And if you scroll down, you can see the variety of virtual lab e-content that available from class 6 to class 12. And you click on to this explore, you can find the medium also. Now it's available in the Hindi and English medium.
Okay.
Very soon that all the Indian languages will be available.
Right.
And like that you can explore at the medium of instruction. Now suppose we are clicking on that English medium, you can see the mathematics and science subjects are there. So now if you will click on that any subject, take it example that science. So I have opened one page here. So one experiment is there. So this is a page you can land. So here you can see the variety of digital resources in the form of theory, in the form of the procedures are there, then the video resources are there, simulators are there, then assessment, that is self-assessment are also there, then even feedbacks are there. So this is one example of the virtual lab. You can click on to this start button, and like that so many experiments and activities we have in this virtual lab platform. So one by one, as per your subject preference and the language preference, you can explore this one and experience this virtual lab activities. So just suppose an example, I am clicking on this one, you are landing to a virtual lab. So this show the typical virtual lab setup.
Yes.
So here you
Place
can
the test
perform
tube
as
into
per
hot
that
water.
instruction given in the procedure.
And here the concept is, you can also tell the concept which is there.
Air expansion.
Air expansion. So the title of this activity is air expands on heating.
On heating, yeah.
On heating. So you can explore this one, and even you can see here the lot of options are there, and what are the different experiment or activities you are searching for. you can scroll down here and as per your requirement or preference, you can do any activities and
Right.
experiment.
So we can actually see here how air expand on heating. So you can see here the labels, hot water.
Yeah, it's cold water.
Cold water, hot water, and there is a balloon,
Yeah.
which is attached to a tube.
Yes.
So if we place this balloon in hot water, so we can see how
Observe the size of the balloon.
air inside the balloon expands on heating. So yeah,
Place the
we can
test
see
tube back to the stand.
balloon.
The balloon is ready to take off.
Yeah, inflating.
Yeah.
And if we put it in the
Observe
cold
the size
water,
of the
so
balloon.
now we can see how it
So do we need to
shrinks
take-
after
yeah.
some time. So
Yes.
that is how we can perform the experiments in the lab environment.
And we can, of course, understand the concepts also, basic concepts. Well, I think because we are running short of time, we won't be able to, perform a lot more experiments. But yes, we have gathered necessary information that there are so many experiments that are already there on the website. Medium of instruction is there, different classes are there, and this website is still a work in progress. So we are adding new components each day we are working, but you still have enough material to practice and to get the hands-on experience of virtual labs. Now, thank you so much, Dr. Praveen and Dr. Indu, for performing that experiment. But now, as you all know, it's a training session. So everybody can participate, though specifically we are catering to the audiences and viewers from northeastern part of the country. Of course, we're talking about those famous 7 sisters and 1 brother state, but this assessment or this particular program is open to all. So how you can register and participate? Let's go to this website, ciet.ncert.gov.in. Yes, this is the website you need to access, and here you will go to the activities section, click on the workshop and training option, then scroll down. You will find this current activity of online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 3. Here you will find a complete write-up of virtual lab, this concept, and why we are having this training activity. Here we have schedule also, that on day 1 today we talked about virtual labs need, perspective and scope. Tomorrow we will be talking about virtual lab as the teaching learning tool for biology, and so forth and so on. Who all can participate? So everybody can participate, students, general public, administrators, etc. And this is again the schedule with the details of experts and the topics, and all these programs are going to be uploaded because we are streaming live on YouTube channel NCERT Official, and in a short while from now the link to the session will be uploaded here, so you can watch them for later references as well. And then you have to participate, and there are few steps that you need to follow. Step 1 is to register yourself. Click the link or scan this QR code. 2 options are there. Step 2, watch all the training sessions very attentively if you want to answer the questions correctly. So these are the platforms on which we are streaming live. Step 3, you have to participate in post-assessment activity, and if you get or score more than 70%, you will be granted a certificate. Of course, the link will be opened on the last day of the session where you can actually log on and participate. So all the details will be mentioned here. Last but not the least, you have to submit your feedback. That is extremely important so that we can improve upon our training sessions and bring newer content for you. So you can write to us on diksha.training@ciet.nic.in, or you can give us a call on this number. So that was about the day 1's training session where we talked about need, scope and perspective of virtual labs, and we had this very fruitful discussion. So let me thank all my guests, Professor Amarendra P. Behera, Professor Indu Karmar and Dr. Praveen. Thank you so much for your wonderful contribution to the session. There is a lot more that is about to come, and we are looking forward to the sessions in the days to come. I'm sure that we will connect virtual labs with different subjects and will perform various experiments and will get the hands-on experience. Now it's time for me to actually announce a very important thing. It's a very important announcement that we have to make about the All India Children's Educational E-Content Competition. Yes, so the All India Children's Educational E-Content Competition is back for the year 2024-25. We invite teachers, teacher educators, students and independent educational e-content creators to submit their best e-content for the competition. For further details and the registration form, please visit the activities section of our official website www.ciet.ncert.gov.in that we visited a while ago, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. The final date for submission is December 31st, 2024. And now, before I wrap up, it's time to have a quick look at the schedule, what all programs you're going to watch during the day. So we started the day with our program Yog Shakti. We are through with our virtual lab sessions. Today was day 1. We talked about needs, perspective and scope. Of course, in a short while from now, you can watch a session in Hindi at 12. 2 p.m. is the time for a session on mathematics where we will have fun with numbers. At 2:30, we will bring you a session in Hindi titled Rani Bhi. 3 p.m. is the time for a session in English, followed by a session in mathematics again at 3:30 p.m. From 4 to 5 p.m., we are going to have a training session. Of course, this is a training week, and today will be the day 1 where we will talk about ICT for teaching and learning of science. At 5 p.m. we will bring you our session Sahyog, where we will talk about mindful living. So with this, it's a wrap. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you, but I will join you very soon. Please stay tuned for more educational programs. Take care. Namaskar.